apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Welcome in to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Bill Mitchner.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Got another beautiful day here in Lake, Nebraska. More importantly, the sun rose after the loss Saturday. Harrison and I were crying for hours.
It almost didn't want to rise, I think, for a little bit. It was pretty cloudy in the morning, and eventually it came out.
It was resistant.
It was resistant. The sun was also a little bit disappointed, but it woke up eventually, too.
And here we are in a bye week.
Yeah. So we talked about it. I'll take a bye week. Much needed. Everyone lock in a little bit, get some rest, enjoy volleyball.
Absolutely.
While those guys are on a run.
I mean, 10-0.
10-0. They got another one tonight, 6 p.m. We will have the volleyball postgame show as well for everyone listening. Of course, Mandy Monson hopping in for that second one of the year for us here at 93.7 The Ticket. And I know last time we did, a lot of people are saying, about time that someone around here is doing a volleyball postgame show. It's not like they've been winning all the time or anything. So, yes, it is finally here. So I encourage everybody, as soon as it hits 0, maybe a little bit after, we will have that for you guys.
And why not you, Harrison? Why not it be you? That's a part of that post-game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's also because it just falls on Wednesday night, so it is my hours. DP's out of town. Let the boss man get some rest. And, of course,
there you go.
I mean, it's Mandy's show.
That's true.
She's running it. I was talking to you guys with the program for 4 years. I believe a Nebraska native, too, out of Wallace. So she knows the Huskers volleyball a lot better. So she will guide the audience and myself through, I think, about an hour and a half of post-game content for you. take a listeners.
It'll usually take an hour, but because you're helping, I'm just kidding. Only
Yeah,
kidding.
because I'm helping, there's some extra steps we got to take while I figure it out. So that's about 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that'll be fun for the listeners. So, well, we have a fun guest here tonight, and has been a friend of mine now for a little while, and talk a little bit about kind of history of that. But Monica, welcome.
Yeah, great. It's great to be here.
So, Monica, where did your career start? How about we start there?
Wow. Okay. So let's see. So I went to Doane University.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop whoop. And started out as an international business major.
Oh.
Yeah, and then took economics and barely passed and realized this is not my thing. And so I had to figure out what my major was going to be, and this will date me just a little bit, but I loved Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs. And so I was like, I'm going to try criminal justice. And so I did an internship at the State Patrol and loved the internship, but realized really quickly that there was only one person in the whole state who did that kind of work and wasn't really interested in doing law enforcement. And so then I did an internship at the Juvenile Detention Center. At the time, it was called the Attention Center.
Yeah.
Again, dating
On
myself.
10th Street,
on 10th
right?
Street,
Yeah.
yeah. So I loved it, loved working with the kids, and kind of just stumbled into juvenile justice work. So I worked there for 5 years out of college, and then transitioned over to the Crime Commission. I did statewide planning and program development work, ran grants from the federal government and state, and then
That's fun work, isn't it?
Yeah, grants it's interesting. Yeah, definitely
Interesting. Yeah,
definitely interesting right now. I'll tell you,
I
but-
use the word interesting when I'm not trying to be judgmental.
yeah. So yeah, I've done a lot of different things. Also worked in probation for a little bit. Done independent consulting, and now I work for the university at the Juvenile Justice Institute. So.
Yeah, so quite a little bit of twists and turns, and we went from wanting to be jet set, going across the world on this international business trek, to staying local and affecting change in juvenile justice.
Kind of, yeah. Although we've managed to find our way across the world a little bit too,
Just differently, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just differently. So,
well, yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that here as we're talking a little bit more about the restorative side, because I think it's interesting on the trip that you took. Earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so restorative practices.
Okay.
Restorative justice.
Yeah.
Or restorative justice practices. There's
Yeah.
lots of different ways to look at it.
Exactly.
So when did you get involved with restorative?
Yeah. So, that it's not a new thing.
No.
Right. Like we know that. But it's kind of a buzz, it's kind of reemerged, or kind of a buzzword now, I think, a little
It's gotten
bit.
energized.
It's gotten energy. It's got momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I mean, back when I was doing grant work and whatever, there was a balanced and restorative justice initiative through the federal government. And that was kind of the first time I'd heard of it. Kind of ebbed and flowed as I went to conferences and learned about restorative justice work. And it was always something that really resonated with me in terms of the idea of there's things that are kind of broken about our justice system that don't always really truly repair harm when it happens, right? And so, but I never really got into it until I went on this adventure to Malaysia, actually, to a conference, and that's a whole nother story. But found myself with a colleague in Malaysia at a juvenile conference, and we met a gentleman from Singapore, and he ran a nonprofit in Singapore that is all restorative, and that they've done tons of restorative work in Singapore, and he and his nonprofit work with not just in the juvenile justice system, but across systems in community. And I think that's the beautiful thing about restorative practices is it's not just for one system. It's really a philosophy and way of being. And so that's really what sparked my desire to just continue to start learning and growing as a practitioner.
Yeah, and that's when was it, when you were at the Crime Commission when we first crossed paths? Do you know?
I think so. Maybe
It would have had to have been,
yeah,
right?
it had to have been from like probably through grants would be my guess.
And then, of course, when you transitioned over to your current position or job, of course, that's when things took off a little bit more because of the work that we do in the community with juvenile justice and the work that you guys do on the research side and helping us, I guess, find the better path on how to do it better with the young people that we serve so we can have better outcomes. Now, our restorative work that we do at Lighthouse, my journey started a little over a decade ago and has been twists and turns and through the International Institute of Restorative Practices to Restorative Solutions to just doing things on my own and learning and growing. What is the partnership that we got ourselves into recently?
Yeah, it's great. So I also got training through International Institute of Restorative IRP. Yeah. International Institute for Restorative Practice. Right. All of a sudden I couldn't think of the name. You just said it. Trained there. Also did some other types of trainings. Just this summer went to a restorative teaching tools training in Colorado for a week, which was really cool. But I've always, when I think of restorative practices, especially in Lincoln, I think of you and Lighthouse as really diving in and doing the work and really running your whole organization that way. So one of the things that we wanted to do as we came back from Singapore and we're really trying to see how can we spread this message is we created a restorative justice practices certificate program at the university. And it's a micro-credential program. So for anybody who wants to take it, you don't have to be in the justice system or anything like that. And you were the first person I thought of to help us develop what it would look like and shape what that could look like.
And it was fun. We got together, we talked. There were several people involved. Ann Hobbs, who was the other young lady?
Anna. Yeah.
Anna. Yeah. And so you all get together, talk about what we're doing and develop this, and continues to grow because it has to. Restorative is about moving forward and growing and learning and doing things differently, not always the same way.
Right.
And so now we're in the middle of our second go around with it. We learned a lot of lessons the first time and we're still learning. But it's fun. And my staff, I come back and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so energized. This is something that is just a part of who you are. We see you glow differently when you get out and do these trainings and, help teach and inspire people in this way. And I said, yeah, the thing is, the thing that gets me motivated is seeing people light up. And what really got me was when we asked the students, we're going to call them students because they're learning, and they come from all different ages. So students is a very loose term in this sense. We asked them kind of what they thought about the training. And they said, every one of them said, I came in knowing what restorative was. I got challenged to that. And so as I'm leaving, I found out that it really is not about circles, but it's about my journey first and what restorative means to me inside me to then be able to put that into my own practice to really affect change. Every one of them. And that's what inspires me and gets me excited because that's when the light bulb comes on. Because people think of restorative, they think circle work. There was harm done. We're going to get together in the circle, which I call a vehicle or something like that, or program. That's what people have that misconception of. We challenge them to make it a culture, a way of life. This is who you become, and it becomes that practice as a practitioner. And challenging them that it works in your own personal life, it works in a professional setting, it works in almost any situation you can think of if you do it appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we automatically just hear the word restorative justice. That's what we've heard most often, right? In this country is restorative justice. We jump right to that harm piece, but it really is about starting with yourself and doing that own reflective work first. And it really is a practice. Like it's not easy.
Well, and it was cool to see them process like, gosh, I don't get this. They kept saying, I don't understand how this is working in these boxes. And I don't get what you're saying to me right now. And I don't understand how to navigate. It was fun to see that because then you can see them challenging already what they thought this was. Like, this isn't making sense to how I came in and how I thought this was going to go.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's just eager, like, okay, teach me how to do a circle, right? Like, let's just
we're like,
give me,
whoa.
no, sorry,
As you
gotta back
see,
up.
that's like the third session.
Yeah. 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 It's been really cool. So it was surprising who kind of signed up the first time around.
Right.
And we had some folks from student housing at UNO sign up, which
Right.
was really cool. And we've kind of developed and have been helping them. And so Dr. Hobbs and I went and did a 3-hour training with their resident assistants before school started. And so to see them just really
And they were
latch
eager
on,
too.
yeah,
They,
latch on to see like how can we help students like equip them,
Right.
right? And how can we give them tools and ideas to build, because it's about building relationships, and we're wired for relationships, we're wired for connection. And right now, and kind of just how polarizing things are, the more we can do to help people feel connected, I
Right.
think is really important.
yeah, it has been fun to see everybody from prison. We have
Mhm.
people that work in prisons to schools to
Mhm.
it's fun to see so many different walks of life.
Yeah.
And then asking questions like, how's this going to work in my population?
Mhm.
Or there's no way my administration is going to allow this.
Mhm.
So we can challenge in a different way to say, well, I hear you.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not going to change the system of this. However, what can you change? What do you have the power and control over to actually make the change within whatever you're a part of? And so then that makes them then go, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way.
I also think it's funny how many people say, oh, I like used this at home with my family, right?
Right.
Like I tried this out on my kids. It really worked. So yeah, it's
Well,
funny.
Harrison, you've heard a lot. I mean, we've
Mhm.
been doing this since January. You've heard all these things of strength finders and restorative and all of this stuff. So what has been your take on what you've heard over the last several months?
You guys give a lot of tools, a lot of way. Like, and I think the best thing Lighthouse does is it shows different opportunities and different paths. Because I think a lot of kids just kind of get locked into college or I
Right.
got to be a bum or whatever that looks like. Because like I think got pushed to a lot of kids. If you don't have a diploma, you know you can't do much in life. And now we're kind of getting back. You do that really well, showing off the trades, and also for the kids that just need someone in their corner for a little bit of extra belief. If they do run into trouble, you know, Drew making sure that they're still locked in, knowing that there's people that care about them. So I think the best thing Lighthouse does is it just kind of creates that safe environment, and on top of that, you guys offer a lot of tools and ways that a kid can go find a career path or just simply find his confidence again.
Yeah. That's a good point because, my staff, what they're experts at are relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You come into Lighthouse and everybody's like, how do you train your staff to be so great at building relationships? Like the depth that these kids feel with my staff is amazing. It is just amazing. You can go in there and I promise you across the board, there are kids that are attached a certain way to individual staff members.
Even young adults. I lit up when I saw Drew at the big banquet. I was nervous and I was like, oh, there's Drew Haverman. I know, what a nice guy. And they're comforting people. They
Yeah.
just genuinely care. You guys do a great job of finding people who don't just do it to go get some credits on their resume to look like a good person. I looked at me, I looked at a nonprofit. You find people that genuinely care.
Yeah.
And it shows through just in every single one of them.
Yeah, and they care about each other too, which creates that team. Because again, we can't all be that for everybody. However, there are times also where we need to tap out, where I can't do it. I'm too emotionally tied, whatever it might be. And the cool thing is there's a staff person ready and willing and able to pick the pieces up and step right in. So it's a fun family environment, and still trying to get Harrison to come over and have dinner, but
I had dinner at the banquet, but
no, that's different.
Michelle didn't even make it.
Yeah, no, we
so you
didn't
kind
make
of
it.
sold me on some fool's gold there. I thought Michelle was going to be whipping up the mills, but it was good.
Oh my
It was good
gosh.
nonetheless.
I hope she's listening because she's definitely laughing. She's like, I'm not making that many meals. 500, no thanks. Yeah, so I was just curious to know because he really has heard from literally volunteers, kids, staff members, funders, on and on and on, partners.
I think it's super interesting that you picked up on skills, because that's what we tell people too. Is so many people think that kind of have this idea that restorative practices, restorative justice is kind of soft,
Right.
right? And there's no accountability and whatever. But really, it's we're helping people, especially in your case, like right when we're working with young people and we are doing those circles where we're having to have hard conversations. That's huge skill building,
Absolutely.
right? And that's what we're looking for, is to help people build those skills, to have hard conversations, to build relationships. You can't do that in a lot of programs. It's a strategy.
Right. And
Yeah.
and can you imagine the kids that are learning this at Lighthouse become really actually fairly well versed in restorative work, that they're now kind of helping their parents understand it. They're helping teachers understand. I'm telling you, we've had kids that come through the ASP, the alternative suspension program, really hardcore kids that have learned restorative so well that they stopped getting suspended from school and started helping the teacher in processing it in a different way when things would happen. And we can't be more proud than for them to start developing in that way and carrying it on to the relationships that they're building in their own communities.
Yeah. It's interesting. Through our work in Singapore, one of the things that, as we were doing some of the training there, we were really interested in some of the strategies they were using. And they were like, yeah, we actually learned this. It's called counsel training.
Yeah.
And they use it at Snapchat, right? So it's like not only just in these kinds of spaces, it's in big business organizations, but they use that in Los Angeles public schools. And the founder of Snapchat, that's where he went to school. He just grew up understanding that way of having dialogue and building relationship. And so he was like, this is the way we're going to have the culture we're going to have in our business. Right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right. How cool is that?
It really is amazing. So we're going to take a quick break. And how about we get back to Singapore when we get back after our sponsors?
Yeah.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Furry friends.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Big news, Nebraska! Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
It's time for Bonzal Pool and Spa's Truckload event. From September 23rd through the 27th, stop by Bonzal Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to see an actual truck full of hot tubs with special prices. You'll save up to $3,000 on all hot tubs and swim spas, as well as $1,500 on all saunas and cold plunges. Use Nebraska football's bye week well by stopping in on September 27th for refreshments and giveaways. That's Bonzal Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard in Lincoln.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. A few sprinkles are possible this afternoon. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies with a light breeze and a high near 76. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, the low around 55. And tomorrow, lots of sunshine with light winds and an actually high near 80. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Okay, Harrison, we usually have good conversations, but, we will not speak of what we just spoke of. Can't do it. Sorry.
The last 10 seconds or like minutes before that?
That 4-letter word where they get a degree in it. Where they go to college to learn how to spell
I've heard
it.
the joke before. We're just not going to say the word anymore.
We can't do it. We can't do it. We got to dismiss it. Okay. So tell me about this trip you took to Singapore.
Okay.
That I was supposed to go on, by the way.
I know. Yeah. So it was kind of a dream once we had been. So Anne and I got to go back to Singapore for their conference in 2018. And that's when we said we have to like find a way to bring people here. And so through the global studies opportunities through the university in January, we took a group of 13 students and a retired judge um, on a 3 week, well, I guess it's 2 weeks J term trip.
Yeah.
So we were able to take, they were students from different disciplines. Some were in the criminal justice department, some were in the psychology, different, and some were grad students, some were undergrad, right? None of them had ever met each other before. It was like
Intriguing.
right? We're like, well, this could really go well. This could
Hey,
maybe
let's
not
show
go
you
so
what
great, but we're
restorative is
going to
about
study
relationships.
restorative, right? So hopefully and it was really a phenomenal experience. And we got there. So it's a 17-hour straight flight from San Francisco to Singapore. So one of our students hadn't even ever flown on a plane before. So,
Wow.
right. And then we had one student who's here studying. He's from Norway. Right. And so just lots of different experience, everyone bringing these different experiences and life experiences and situations. And so we set it up so that the week we got there on a Friday. And so we had the weekend to kind of help assimilate. And
Yeah.
we went to the National Museum and took them to the Marina Bay Sands and the Garden by like all the stuff you see in the movies, right? The touristy stuff, getting them adjusted to the food, transportation, right? Like it's hot, it's humid. But it's also one of the safest places. We were kind of just talking about non-safe places, but this is one of the safe places I have felt the most safe anywhere in my lifetime. They have a very high culture of collective accountability, right? So they have, there were some laws we were a little concerned about, right? Like you can't bring chewing gum into the country. You can't sing out loud on the subway. Like some really kind of interesting social kind of things, but it was great. And so then we kicked off the first week by doing a 2-day restorative training with our colleagues at Lutheran Community Care Services. And I think that's what made the trip so impactful because we
Right.
spent 2 days grounding everything that we did in restorative practices. And the students were just like sponges, like they just soaked it in, right? And it was maybe by the end, like by lunchtime of the first day, like we had people in tears, right? Like just really how quickly through building relationships and through these activities and circles that people felt connected
Right.
and felt that they could be open and vulnerable with each other. And so then after those trainings, after that training, then we got to go see different how it really is used in the prison system and halfway houses.
Immersive there.
Yeah. So we immersed ourselves in seeing how people use that even in the community.
Yeah, because it's a big part of the culture there, which is
Yeah.
amazing. That's why I wanted to go there, is because I think that's quite impressive to have systems at that level fully engage in that. And intriguing though, there was and we don't need to get into details, but there was something that happened that you had to lean in on some restorative work.
We did
within the group
Yeah.
to be able to come back to center, right?
Yep, absolutely. It was like we couldn't have like scripted it any better, right? I mean, when you go on a trip for 2 weeks, there's bound to be
Especially with
a little-
strangers.
right? With strangers, there's bound to be a little bit of tension or a little bit of conflict, and it just worked out beautifully. And our partners there kind of helped us walk through and strategize, and it worked out great.
Yeah,
So,
it's amazing how that stuff works, and it just comes out in that way. It's just it every
And-
time it happens organically.
Yep. And then to see how everybody just came back on fire to implement this, not only in their own lives, but to somehow put it into practice. And so one of our students, we connected her with you, right?
Yep.
Who was a very talented artist and really wanted to try to give back and do something. So she started doing some
Restorative
art
Yeah.
at Lighthouse, which was super cool. And we had one student who works part-time in a jail. And she worked with her bosses to try to start doing some circles
Implement.
there.
That's cool.
And one of our students is actually getting her PhD out in Oregon, and she started using circles in her classroom with her graduate classes that she's teaching. And we're actually going out in December to do some more training with her colleagues so that they can start just expand
That's
who's doing
impressive.
that. So it's just contagious.
That ripple
right?
effect,
It
yeah.
just, the ripple effect is so amazing to see, and just you can't plan it. It just shows how it touches everything we do.
So what was your favorite moment when you were in Singapore with this group?
That's a good question.
Well, sometimes I ask them good questions.
know.
I mean,
Put me on
ask
the
Harrison.
spot.
Sometimes I get people to
Right.
think.
Sometimes is a little strong word.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
But that's still sometimes.
Yeah. I think just seeing how quickly people bonded. And I think probably my favorite thing was we also got to meet some students from SUSS, so Singapore University of Social Services. And so some of the students studying
sounds
social
sus.
work. Yeah, it was sus. Some of the students studying social work also do some internships and stuff with our colleagues that are over there. And so we had a couple of students who were really connected with our group. So they hung out with us for like the whole 2
That's
weeks,
awesome.
and they took our students to do things that were really local, right? So some really fun local hawker stall places to eat. They took them shrimp, like shing. I don't think that's the right word, but
We'll
there's
just
this
call it
really
shrimping.
right shrimping, yeah, like this really interesting place that they go to do that, and then you catch them and you just fry them up right there on the
I
roof
would
of
not.
this
I would
place.
not do that.
I know.
Shellfish
Yeah.
allergies.
Oh yeah, that would have
I mean-
been bad for you. Yeah. We had a couple of students who had birthdays, and so went out to celebrate with them. Right, like just there were so many different things.
So,
Yeah.
so what I hear you saying is the vulnerability
Mhm.
of the people really shown through for the relationships to be able to happen.
Yeah.
Because really, when it comes to restorative work, that vulnerability is one of the most important things that we do. And
Yep.
we get to see that even in the trainings that we do, which is, again, fun for people to take those steps forward. And a lot of times people are hesitant at first, right?
Yeah.
Everything stays here, right? Everything, this is where,
Yep.
To me, I'm like, yeah, that's what people say. However, for you to be vulnerable, you have to accept it and truly engage in that. So, and we get to see those shifts in people every time. And that's why I always want to continue to do this work.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is what builds me up.
Yeah, I agree. Me too.
Yeah, I actually love it more. I thought I was going to like teaching college more. And when I started teaching college, I'm like, students don't want to be there to learn. They really don't. I'm sitting there trying to teach them human services and get them like, I'm going to help you become the best that I want to hire. No, for the most part, no, they would do bare minimum and really didn't want to engage. And I had a
Then you
couple
need to
shining
be doing
stars.
circles in your
Oh, I
classroom.
did. I actually started and I had a couple superstars
Yeah.
kind of rise above it. But for the most part, that isn't where I gained my energy. And then when I started doing trainings, and I'm like, this is it. Because people that want to be trained are choosing to be there and learn and want to do it differently. So that's what inspired. And then I'm like, yeah, forget teaching. I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah, you have a little more autonomy that way too.
Exactly. Yeah, and that could be another thing is I don't like to be told exactly how I need to step through this. I don't know. I might have a power struggle issue. I don't know.
How long were you teaching?
I've taught on and off for probably 8 years.
Okay.
So I've done like SEC and I taught at whatever's Hamilton.
What classes
It's
were you
pretty
teaching
global.
at SEC?
Human services, so sociology, psychology, that type of stuff.
Okay. I was there for a couple of years. So I was trying to figure out, you probably weren't around in like 2018, were you?
No, I was not teaching by then.
All right.
No, that was right before COVID. I was accreditation stuff now and restorative stuff. And once I started really hooking into restorative, I stopped wanting to teach because that restorative really was building up what I wanted to do when I was teaching. If that makes sense.
That would be my dream, is that we create some kind of restorative pathway in college, right? Like to have a whole minor or major or something, right? Like,
Yeah, that would be cool.
that would be really cool.
And my dream would be to have a part of the Nebraska police academy
Mhm.
restorative be a part of their training as they go through. I think that would be amazing and cutting edge to give them those tools to be able to then have it as a part of, as they're becoming police officers, it becomes a part of who they are rather than trying to bring it in after they've had all that training. And a lot of times a years of experience on boots on the ground, if you know what I mean, you know,
Mhm.
because that hardens us, that changes us, that makes it harder for us to look in a different way at things. And so
I think it's needed. I always get worried about like having a lost generation. Just feels like a lot of kids just got more problems going on because it's not their fault necessarily. It's just kind of the environment they're growing up in. And
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, we just don't want to be a point where we got, a whole generation of people that just kind of felt like it was a done deal and there was no hope on the way out.
right.
So, and the more we can do, like the older generation, be myself, just making sure that we're picking each other up is huge.
Yeah, I agree because it has gotten a lot harder, and
In
you know,
different ways than your own challenges and my parents' challenges.
my
but
God,
different
way
challenge,
different.
Yeah.
I mean, electronics is so much different, and
Mhm.
you gaining access to information, whether it's misinformation or you can gain access to information in a different way than we could ever do. The pandemic is also an influence in a very negative way.
It's not good for
It's
kids' health.
and
I
there's
mean,
a
you saw it
long-term,
mentally.
so, mental health, physical health.
I'm gonna see the consequences of that for a long time.
No, absolutely, because it also isolated people, which creates mental health issues. And, people still are not back of like, I still feel isolated. I still
Mhm.
don't feel like I'm a part of something. So, and we're talking 5 years ago. So, when does that shift happen? Will it ever happen fully for people? Because some people, it may never shift back.
I will tell you though, like I'll push back on you a little,
I
right?
love
Like
that. Please do.
I love this. I love being on campus and being around the students. Like, of course, there's always a few, right? Like, but man, these students give me a lot of hope. They really do. Like, I
Absolutely.
just see so much passion for wanting to make the world a better place and hope for the future. And I think they're realistic about the challenges that are happening, right?
I
But
think in
see
pockets,
them, yeah, I
pockets
see
it's
them,
true.
yeah.
But you're looking on a college campus where there is hope. Where we're talking about maybe the kids that are out there on the streets right now that aren't connected in some way, aren't connected to a
Oh,
Lighthouse
sure.
or a City Impact or any of these other nonprofits, Malone centers that are just hopeless. Like they don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and their future looks bleak. And that's what I think Harrison's kind of hinting towards is how do we gain access to those students or the people that are out there that are losing that hope. And
Well, and I think that's like Harrison mentioned earlier, like why programs like Lighthouse are so important. I was just at a conference this week in Kearney, and there was a keynote that talked about there's a lot of research and science about hope.
Right.
Like they call it hope science, and that just that connection to one caring person to know that there's one person out there that believes in you and will help you believe in yourself. Like that gives people enough hope to keep moving forward.
Right,
So we
right.
have to just have to help each other have hope.
yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and shine the light on our sponsors and throw it back to Harrison.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flags are underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Copple's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Copple since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have it today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is your invite to Lincoln's Oktoberfest. On Saturday, September 27th, come to Beer House at 8th and P in the Haymarket from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. for a full day of German fun. Live bands, mouth-watering food, cold brews, and games for every age. Try your hand at Steinholding, Cornhole, or bring friends for Hammerschlagen. Admission is just $9 in advance, and VIP gives you tokens, a Stein, rooftop access, and more. Lincoln's Oktoberfest, where the beer is flowing, the food is sizzling, and the spirit is Bavarian strong. Be there.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Now back to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, my man. See, that was a much better conversation. We didn't use the four-letter word that is not allowed in Nebraska. So people are going to be contemplating that four-letter word.
They know. 4 letters have everyone pretty much. They listen to sports radio. I think they can imagine what the 4 letters are.
Right. I hope so.
I almost said it just to bother you.
No, don't do it. But you brought up a very strong piece of when right before we took that break, and you were talking about the lost generation, and really the word that you used was shame. And our conversation surrounded that because restorative, one of the biggest pieces is shame. And we talked little bit on break about the power of the negative power and the positive power of shame. The negative power, obviously, if we're shaming others and harming others, that's harmful. And it gets people to regress and not participate. Where if you're feeling shame, that means that you're feeling the difference between right and wrong. You're understanding that there's something out of balance there that you can work towards healing. And that's the power, positive power of shame, because you want people to have some sort of connection to people and understanding that harm is caused. We're human. We're going to cause harm in this world. And identifying that I caused harm, how can I change that? So I just wanted to bring that to light because we ended on that note. And I think it's important for us to, if we're out there trying to build people up, it's understanding that we have to be an understanding that we are also a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be aware of it. Mm-hmm. So then we can do it better.
And aware of how we respond to it, because we all respond to it in different ways.
Or react.
Mm-hmm.
And we want people to respond. Reacting means that your emotions are tied to it. We want you to respond because you're going to put the right energy into it. So then you can get to a better solution.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think about all that?
Just be nice.
Just be nice.
Yeah, it's really funny how kids know it better than anybody else because we use a lot of big words, and it's good for us to break it down because we're adults and we like to overthink everything. But I mean, we all know it as kids. Be nice. Like, just be nice to your neighbor and your friends, and like, you'd be amazed. And of course, when you get into some real problems and issues at home and other places, then it's nice to have a place like Lighthouse and areas you can go ahead and practice ways to navigate around that. But yeah, I mean, it really does just come that simple, being nice. And it's great that you guys have ways to really amplify what being nice means, but that's all it is.
Sure.
Well, and it's also helping those young people that are going through those things navigate. This is a normal thing. You should have feelings about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's navigate what it looks like and how can we get through that? Because again, I think a lot of times you shouldn't feel that way. What do you mean I shouldn't feel that way? You like my son's girlfriend just lost somebody that's close to her friend, committed suicide. And so they keep hearing, well, you shouldn't be sad about that. You shouldn't. I'm like, what do you get out of here? Mm-hmm. First of all, you can never get to celebrate somebody unless you mourn appropriately. So we have to get through our emotion to be able to get through it. If we're stuck in it, it'll be a cycle forever. And that's why, in my opinion, a lot of people that don't mourn appropriately don't get through it appropriately. That's why we get so stuck. So the ultimate thing I want you to do in life is just make for sure that you're a beacon for somebody else. Shine that light down so other people can see a path.